All right, we're going to talk about editing or adding new posts to your blog. It's pretty easy. What we want to do is find the post section. We have pages and media, and then right above the media we have posts. And that's where I am right now. And to add a new one, we just click Add New, or you can click it from this menu, it doesn't matter. We'll give it a title. So blog post title, whoops, here. And then what we'll do is we'll add the content. Now, a point I want to make is if you're copying and pasting from a Word document, that's fine. But what I strongly recommend is to use the text tab section when you're going to paste in there. So right now, by default, when you're making a blog post, you'll see visual selected. See that visual? But copy and pasting, we want to use text. And the reason is when you copy and paste from something like a Word document, Pages for Mac, whatever it may be, it adds unnecessary markup, meaning HTML. You won't see it, but it'll be in there. And what can happen is it can break your page, it can break the layout, it can cause other problems. Okay, so we want to avoid that. So if you're pasting, go ahead and click the text thing and then paste it in. If you're going to handwrite it, go ahead and knock yourself out. You can work within that. That is fine. So let's see here. Let me get some text to paste into this real fast. All right, so we'll just paste in some stuff. All right, so we'll do that under there. All right, so let's just pretend. Okay. Now let's go ahead and just publish this so we can take a look and we can kind of go over step by step what we need to add to complete this post. So I'll refresh it. This will now be the top one. By default, WordPress works chronologically, so from newest to oldest. So you'll see today's date, and then as it goes down, it goes by the most recent from that point to the to the oldest. Excuse me. So right now we're okay. We have the post. We don't have a picture. We need a picture, and we don't have a category. By default, WordPress has a uncategorized category. You can't remove that. You can't delete it. You can't get rid of it. It's by default, and it's necessary for WordPress to have that. So how do we change that? How do we not use that? Well, first we'll uncheck it, and then we'll add a new category. So for instance, we want to call it news. Let's see, news, and I'll just call this one from Phara. You obviously can come back and change and add whatever you want to add, so add that. So here are two new categories. I've unchecked the uncategorized one, and if we update this, if we come over and look, we'll see a category from Phara and news, and actually people can actually sort through and read your blogs just by clicking on one of these particular categories. So, from Phara, from news, you want to put something about your books or whatever, we can do that. All right. Now, how do we get rid of a category? If you look at the left toolbar, under the post section, we'll see categories. And this is the reason why WordPress does not allow you to get rid of uncategorized, because if you have no categories and you try to post a blog or make a blog post, it's not going to work without a category. So that's why they have that. So let's say we want to get rid of from Phara. I can just delete it. And now that category is gone. So if you want to come in there and change and delete and remove, you can do that. So here you can add them. All right. We also have allow comments under the discussion section, allow trackbacks. Right now your your blog does not have comments. Or I should rephrase that. I would suggest you do not allow comments, because right now a lot of spam bots are out there adding spam, posting spam, things unnecessarily to your website. So to get rid of this box altogether so that doesn't happen, we would just uncheck it. And then a ping back, if you want to allow that, is basically a site reference to your site. So let's say you write an article about IT, and then another website sees it and they like the article and they want to reference and give you sort of credit to that article, link to that article. It's called a track back, and they can do that. Up to you if you want to do that or not. Again, it can also be a source for spam. Personally, I don't use these, but I'll leave that up to you. So uncheck these, and then what it's going to do is get rid of the ability for someone to actually leave a comment on this, okay? So far we got our title, we have our information, we have our category, but what we don't have is the image, and we don't have the read more. All right, so let's assume you just want to have an introduction to your information, to your article, to your posts. It's a long post, and if we don't do anything about that, what's going to happen is the entire post is going to be in the preview. And this is a preview post, right? It's a preview section, preview page for them to read more. Well, here's the whole post. I don't want people to read the whole post. I want them to click to read the whole post. That's easy. So what we do is we just find a spot where we want to enter the read more. So we'll do it right. Let's see, we'll do it right after this. So make sure you select this area with your mouse, and then you'll see this right here, this insert read more tag. We'll update it. I'll refresh, and then what do I have now? I have a read more. So now if I click this, now I get the whole article. All right. Another thing we can do is add in an image. So it's not required. You don't have to add a banner image. I think it looks nice. So for instance, we have this picture here. Let's add an image to our post. So we'll again click our pointer in the article where we want the image. Add media. And you can use something that's existing in your media library, or you can add a new image. So I can do that by selecting files. For just the purpose of this though, I will choose an existing image such as this one, full size, link to none. We don't need that image to link to anything. So insert it. We'll save this. And now we have an image. Now, it's important that your images is sized how you want them. Yes, WordPress will resize this accordingly. So you'll see the width is the same as the width as this one. So it's going to fit into the space. However, the height is different. And that's because the image dimensions are different. This one's a bit tall, this one's a bit short. So if it doesn't bother you, then it's no big deal. However, if you want every image to be consistent, you're going to want to upload an image that basically has the same height all the way around. Width doesn't matter a whole lot, just as long as it's a minimum. So for instance, in this case, I think this picture is about 730 pixels wide. So you want to do 730 or bigger when you're uploading your blog image. Some quick references to the actual editor. We can do what's called a block quote. So I can highlight a section and kind of call it out, and you'll see this little block quote icon. And we can do that. We can change some colors if you want to. We can add hyperlinks to that. So pretty much anything you can do in an email or your document, you can do here. We can even add additional images. So let's say I want to add an extra image just to go with this. That's a good one. Let's see. This one, I'll select Phara. I'm going to align it right. We'll see that we can align it. And I'll do full size. That looks good. Insert it. Let's see what we got. Okay, so let's read. We'll see the block quote. Oops, sorry about that right here. Did the call out. We'll see the green text that I did. And then we'll see an additional image that we added in there, and we floated it right so the text is actually wrapping around it. One last thing. You can schedule your posts. So maybe you're going to do one a week, but you want to post it, let's say, every Friday. So if I write this blog post, what I can actually do is schedule it. So I would choose my date, let's say April 4th, 2018. And what will happen is it's scheduled, and once this time comes, it'll automatically post it to your website. Okay, that is it for this one.